Welcome everybody. We're going to start lying on our backs today. You can either use a bolster, or if you don't have a bolster, grab a blanket and make a nice round with it. And you can choose how big your blanket's going to be and how large your round is going to be. So it could be, if you don't like a lot of height under your upper back, don't choose a very big blanket, or use a towel and only roll it up a little bit. And then take whatever you're using, place it widthwise on your mat and lie down over it so that it's at the bottom of your shoulder blades. That your arms rest out to either side or take them above your head. Choose the position for your arms that works for you. Give yourself a little wriggle and jiggle and get comfy. And then decide where you want to place your legs. You can have your feet on the ground with your knees falling together, maybe taking the feet wider apart, coming into resting pose. It's a lovely release for the iliopsoas muscle. Maybe you just like to stretch your legs out here. Perhaps the opening through your chest is enough for you. Or you can bring the soles of your feet together and take the knees out to either side. Coming into Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose, whatever you like to call it. Wherever you choose to be, let the weight of your pelvic bone settle down into the earth. Let your shoulders relax. So you're not holding tension. The neck is released. Take some height under your head if you need to. If it's feeling like you're towards the crown of your head, rather than on the back of your head. We're going to be stopping to start today. Taking the time to stop before we go into any movement. But there's always movement in the body. The heart beats if we're alive. The breath moves in and out. As the extremities of your body come into stillness, notice the movement, the subtle movement inside. What can you feel? What does the stopping mean for your mind and for your physical and energetic body? As you focus on your breathing, let your out-breath become a little bit longer. With each breath you take, allow the frame of your body to settle more towards the earth. Drop in a little deeper. Letting yourself fully inhabit this space, this breath, this moment. Take a few more breaths here, feeling into the depth of your breath, seeing how much of your torso you can access as you breathe. Can you feel the belly? Can you feel the back ribs? Can you feel the expansion through the side body? And of course, more obviously, the front of the chest, the easiest space, arguably, to breathe into. And as you next exhale, let the knees and feet come into one alignment with the knees bent, moving from whatever pose you're in to a basic neutral position with the legs bent, the feet on the floor. And then carefully roll to one side, moving your prop out of the way, taking it completely off your mat and returning to your back. You'll toe the feet a little wider apart, make the knees fall together. Particularly beneficial if you've been in butterfly pose. And take the feet even further apart. And we're going to windshield wiper from side to side, Focusing on the knee that's dropping inward rather than dropping outward. Taking one knee at a time and rolling that knee, the inside of the knee towards the mat. Letting it fall towards the mat rather than pushing it towards the mat. Notice the stretch to the outer hip as you let the knee fall inward. Keep the breath moving. And coming up to center, heel toe the feet back together and bring the right knee in towards your chest. You can keep the left foot on the floor or you can stretch the leg out, whichever is more comfortable for you. Hug that shin deeply into the chest. Interlock your fingers over the shin and pull it in. Create. And then as you next exhale, let the legs come to one side, rolling yourself over to come onto hands and knees. Plant the hands under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. And move through cat and cow, inhaling the belly down and lifting the head and the tail for cow pose. Exhaling round the back, drop the head and the tail for cat. Inhaling back to cow and exhaling to cat. Starting to move through some circular motions. From cat pose, the rib cage comes to one side, dropping down into cow and circling back, up and around into cat pose. Make another few big, deep circles. When you're ready to, change direction, circling the other way. Make sure you can allow the head to circle too. Sometimes it's nice to get the head circling a different way to the body. See if you can keep yourself coordinated as you do that. And coming to stillness as you exhale, let the buttocks sink back towards the heels, stretch the arms out in front of you. Take a deep breath in here. And on the out breath, begin to walk the hands towards the right hand side of your mat, stretching through the left waist. Sink the left hip back, the left hand reaching forward. As you inhale, bring the hands back to center. And then as you exhale, walk the hands to the left-hand side of your mat. Opening now through the right side of the body. Right hip sinking back, right hand reaching forward. Feel the length that you're creating. Keeping your shoulder quite stable though. So you're not stretching apart the ligaments of the right shoulder, but rather reaching the arm and reaching the side body. As you inhale, bring your hands back to center. And then slide the hands down beside the knees, pushing into the hands to lift yourself up into an upright kneeling position. Inhale, raise the arms up. And as you exhale, sink your buttocks back towards your heels and bow forward with the arms outstretched in front of you. Slide the hands back towards the knees and inhale, lift yourself back up. Arms coming out to the side to inhale and out in front of you to exhale. Keep those two movements going. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to come forward. As you move, see if you can find a slightly longer out breath. How slowly can you bow forward, bringing the hands to the earth? Not straining or forcing the breath, simply encouraging it to be a long, slow exhalation. One more time, cycling through, inhaling to lift and exhaling, coming down into that extended child. And let yourself rest here. Allow the elbows and the forearms to rest against the floor or the mat. Let the head be supported. And as you inhale, bring yourself back up to tabletop. Bring the buttocks down to the floor and extend the legs out in front of you. Inhale here, raising the arms up. And as you exhale, fold forward, circling the arms around and back toward the body. Inhale, lift them up. Exhale, fold. Keep cycling with the breath and the arms. Stretching away the inner ankles. Lengthening along both legs. One more full cycle or circle as it may be. Reach the arms up, and then as you exhale, begin to move yourself forward into caterpillar pose. Let the arms either rest beside you, forearms crossed on the shins or supported on some height. Relax the belly. Release the weight of the arms down, and then let the feet fall out comfortably to either side of the legs. So we're no longer straining through our legs. If you need height under your sitting bones, if you feel like you're bending from the waist rather than from the pelvic bone, then take some height. Get that forward tilt of the pelvis so that then you can fold more comfortably. The weight should be relatively neutral. These slower poses where we stay in stillness give us time to notice the little idiosyncrasies of our own body. What can you feel along the length of your legs? Is it the heels, the ankles, the backs of the knees or the calves? Is it the hamstrings? And if it's the hamstrings, which aspect of the hamstring is it? Inner, outer, middle? Can you feel your sitting bone? Can you feel your hips? And perhaps the sensation for you is more in the upper body, the upper limbs, shoulder, neck, arms, fingers. Take a big deep breath in here. And as you exhale, slowly begin to lift yourself back up to center. Rolling the shoulders over a couple of times. Maybe moving the legs a little, circling the ankles. And back some movement. And we're going to open our legs out to either side. Stretching the legs out. Finding a comfortable position or a comfortable angle for you, roughly 90 degrees, but it could be more, it could be less depending on your body. Take a breath in, reach the left arm up, and as you exhale, take that left arm across towards your right foot. It doesn't have to touch the foot, we're just moving in that direction. Inhale, change sides. The right arm comes up, and then exhale, right arm in the direction of the left foot. Moving between these two sides. Inhale upward and exhale to twist and fold. You can take it more of a twist, or you can take it more of a fold. So you decide how much of whichever movement you need today. What is the body inviting you to appreciate and to enjoy? What are the spaces in the body that need your focus? Is it a twist for the spine? Or is it a forward fold for the torso and legs? It's the combination of the two, finding that lovely even space where you're getting equal stimulation along the length of the vertebrae, as well as in the abdominal region and the backs of the leg. You've completed the second side. Bring yourself back up to center, taking the hands in front of you and walking the hands forward, coming into a forward fold, getting equal stimulation through the right leg and the left leg. You give the toes a little wriggle, let the feet fall out to either side. If you can come forward comfortably onto your elbows, do so. Otherwise, stay up on your hands. Don't come further forward than the body will comfortably allow. You can also use support under your elbows if you'd like to. You can cross your forearms and rest them on the floor. Relax the shoulders. As you next inhale, slowly begin to lift the head and the chest, walking your hands back in, bringing the torso back to upright, bending up your knees and bringing the legs together before stretching them out in front of you. Bend up your right knee and take the foot across to the opposite side of the left thigh. You can stay here, or if you'd like to come into half shoelace, let the outside or top edge of the foot come towards the floor. Take a breath in here, lift through the chest, and as you exhale, twist to the right. Use the left arm's leverage outside the right leg. Keep the left leg, the extended leg, strong, toes facing up, and soften the belly, that region where we twist around. Keep the front of the chest open, collarbones broad, not compressing the shoulders inward, but lifting and opening them. And the head can turn to look over the right shoulder, or it can turn to look over the left shoulder. You've got a counter twist happening. If you do that, the neck is twisting the opposite way to the rest of the spine. And it's a really interesting way of feeling into the body. And I find when I turn my head the opposite direction to the thoracic spine, that actually I can deepen my twist. Have a little play. Turn your head one way. How does that feel? Turn your head the other way. How does that feel? Which will work better for you today? The other option, of course, is to keep the head in line with the chest, so the neck is neutral. And this would be a good thing to do if you had a neck injury. On your next inhalation, gently bring yourself back to front. Release that right leg, stretch it out to meet the left. And bring the left knee in towards the chest, either stepping the foot outside the right thigh, keeping the toes in line with the knee, or coming more into half shoelace, where the leg, the outer ankle is resting on the floor beside you. Wherever you choose to be, inhale, lift the chest up. And as you exhale, revolve to the left this time, using the right arm as leverage. Relaxing the belly, but keep the right leg a little bit firm. So you're anchoring down with your right leg, leaving the body free to revolve to the left. As we did with the other side, choose where you'd like your head to be. It doesn't have to stay there the whole time. You can have it in one position for a few breaths and turn it and change it to another position. Use movement as much as is required, as is appropriate for you. On your next inhalation, return the body to facing the front. Release the left leg, stretching it out. And then bend up the knees and come around to lie on your back. Make sure you've got your blanket or your bolster handy, depending on whatever it was that you used at the start of the class. And lie down onto the mat. Take a moment here to settle yourself, get comfortable, make sure nothing's in your way and that you do have your blanket handy for when we go into Shavasana. Push into your feet and lift your hips up. Slide the bolster underneath the sacrum or the rolled blanket, or you could use a cushion or a block, a pillow, whatever works for you. Get something that's firm-ish and supportive. And then bring the knees in towards the chest and stretch the feet up towards the ceiling. This is a mini inversion, an inversion without the fear, hopefully, and the pressure on your neck. Try and keep your face pointed towards your toes. So this, in this instance, do as I say, not as I do. Push up with the heels for a moment, pull the toes down. Feel the entire backs of the legs engage and let the feet relax. Allow the legs to float in the air. This is a really lovely pose to do at the end of the day, particularly up against a wall, in which case we call it Viparita Karani. So the backs of the legs, and particularly the heels, are supported then by the wall. The buttocks are really close into the wall, and it's a lovely way of bringing ease into the legs, helping with the blood flow returning to the heart. It's quite good for the digestive system as well. You can choose where to place the arms. They can be out beside you, they can be over your head. Take time to breathe here. If the legs get tired, you can always release them down, bring the feet to the earth. And then as you next exhale, bend the knees, place the soles of the feet on the floor, push in to your feet to lift your hips, moving your bolster out of the way, and return to your back. Hug the knees in, rock a little from side to side. And open your arms out and exhale the leg down to the right hand side. Take 2 or 3 deep, slow breaths here. As you breathe in, prepare to move. And as you breathe out, bring your legs back to center. Readjust as needed. And then exhale the legs across to the other side. Keeping the arms open. We're not here for a long time. So even if your right shoulders is far off the floor, try and see if you can keep your arm open to the side. The pressure shouldn't be too much on the front of the shoulder. Just another breath, maybe 2. On your next in-breath, prepare to move. And as you breathe out, bring yourself back to center. Hug the knees in. Perhaps again, rock a little from side to side. And then as you exhale, return your feet to the floor, your head to the earth, and then stretch the legs out. Check in with what support is needed for you today. Maybe nothing, or maybe you require a blanket behind the knees or a bolster, a blanket under the head, a blanket over your body. You will cool down lying in Shavasana. You want to maintain your body temperature. So do what you need to become warm or to remain warm. And then let the whole body start to surrender. There's nothing that you need to do. There's nowhere that you need to be. Settle down towards the earth. What can help you relax? Is it giving the toes or ankles a little wriggle? Is it releasing through the fingers, the wrists, the hands? You need to shrug or move one or both shoulders or shoulder blades. Can you let the whole front of your body be relaxed? The whole back side of the body becoming heavy against the floor. Bring your attention onto your breathing. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just breathe. Releasing your focus on your breathing. Begin to prepare your body for movement. Starting small, wriggling fingers and toes. Building up, just stretching out your limbs, reaching your arms and your feet apart, opening your body. When you're ready to, bending your knees. And either rolling to your side first or making your way directly up to sitting. Bringing the hands together in prayer position in front of the heart space. Edges of the thumbs lightly touching the body. Bowing the head. In honour of your practice. Namaste.